Alright, who's ready for a good old-fashioned Narshe review? I am. Alright, so, let's, Jesus, mouse, go away, what the hell? Okay, so, let's go ahead and, first of all, let me explain, as I have before, the way I rate them, in the Narshe review. Number one, it is in order of their appearance so far, and it is on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being pretty much totally useless, and 10 being absolutely essential to our team. And so let's get it underway. We're going to talk about our main character first, Swole, shirtless ass Sabin that just decided to show up. And let's take a look at what he's got. So, number one, he harvests imps. That is his job. It's why he's so swole. And he's desperately trying to get back to the farm because there's a big fat crop. But, no, he has throw, which is pretty dang useful, especially since we found shurikens. Take a look here, how many we got? 99. Yep, we bought 99 shurikens. So that basically replaces anything he could be doing physically damage-wise. And honestly, well, I just realized he can equip that Morningstar I found, so that's new. But other than that, let's go ahead and take a look at his stats, which aren't awful. Magic power is pretty good, despite the fact that he's not using any magic right this second, except I think ice, because we have quite the icy seed going on here. And he's also got Cure 3, he learned that, which is pretty dang good. Granted, he can't cast it more than once right now, because it's 40 MP, but it's pretty nice to have, just to use eventually as a healing spell. Especially considering we are playing with the Dancing Madwin flag once again, where it's Esper Allocator, and the Esper that teaches us Cure 2, or any other Cure spell, may not be able to be equipped by anybody, so that is a decent healing option to get, just in case something like that happens. And yeah, he's just pretty much been throwing shurikens. He hasn't done anything phenomenal just yet. But the fact that he has Cure 3, the fact that his magic stat is pretty decent, and depending on this Morningstar, dang dude, 123 battle power is pretty nice, and yeah, throwing shurikens does decent damage as well. So as for right now, I think I would rate him at a solid 7. I think he's a pretty good character. Gonna be sad when we lose him here in a minute, but yeah, I would say he is a 7. Alright, moving on. We have Heath, who, his sprite sort of looks like Geralt from The Witcher, but his portrait doesn't. His portrait looks more like Heath Ledger from A Knight's Tale, so that's why I named him Heath. Either way, he's got one of the only AoE attacks that we found, El Nino, which does pretty dang good damage right now. Granted, it is water element, but that is a single element, which means chances are something might resist it eventually. But he has been wiping whole mobs for us. Our white we've had before, I've talked about before. It's not that great. It casts a random white spell, and it's probably not going to cast one you need for the situation you're using it in. So, not reliable enough to even use, really. More of a novelty. But El Nino is really good. I don't think he has any magic yet, no. And even if he did, well, a 35 magic power stat isn't that bad. But right now he's basically just casting El Nino, and yeah, that's basically all we got here. 34 magic power stat. I forgot to unequip everybody. So yeah, yet to be seen if he's going to be fantastic, but I think I'd put him up there as a 7 as well, right next to Swole, just because of his AoE. This point in the game, I'd say he's probably a 7. Alright. Moving on to the terror that is Psycho Mantis. I don't even know if that's who it's supposed to be, but his portrait sure looks like it. So we went ahead and named him that, and he's been terrifying since we found him. But he does have Ice Beam, which again, even though it's single element and it's not AoE, it is a very strong single target attack. It's Magitech, so it's gonna be good. He also has jump, which we haven't made use of yet. If I find a dragon horn, that might be interesting. But, yeah, jump is kind of useless without dragon horn, unless it's one of your only options. You know, like when Good Tarot was here and she had the Ogre Axe. Magic, I do believe he had something, right? No, he does not have anything either. He's also got a middling magic power stat. Pretty good. As far as what he's attacking with, I believe it's rods and knives. Yeah, nothing great. But I think he could equip something crazy, right? Yeah, the Tsarina Gown. So he can equip the Tsarina Gown, which is great for all of his defenses and things, and raises his stats up pretty good. I would say Psycho Mantis at a glance, just because he's only got one single target attack that's elemental, and he doesn't have much else going for him. I'd probably put it at like a 4 or a 5. I think I'd probably do a 4, more likely. So, yeah, there you go. Psycho Mantis. 4. Stay away from my memory card, dude. Alright. Now we have Drogan, one of the Dawn Warriors, and joining us after his son did in the Villain Redemption arc with Butts. We did have Butts, and now we have his dad, Drogan, so, or Drogan. Whichever one it is, I'm sorry if I messed it up. But he is sporting Mimic, which, as I've discussed plenty of seeds before this, Mimic makes you a very, very good character because it just makes you the best character on the team again. So, whatever your best character is on the team, you become that character doing the same things it did. Question mark Gravity Bomb, it's a HP percentage-based attack, as with all gravity attacks, which we haven't found much use for, but it could be pretty helpful like late in the game, especially when we do things like the Cian's Dream and the Zone Eater and things. There's a lot of enemies there that roll massive HP pulls, and having a gravity attack will really, really help in that situation. But until then, it's not really that useful. Really, we've just been mimicking whatever the other characters have. He does not have magic either, and no one really does. But the fact that he has Mimic right now pretty much has to put him up at a 7 as well. He's got to be at least there, just because, again, I'll have one person do something that's really amazing and worthy of a 7 score, and then he'll do it, and he just becomes a 7. But as himself, not taking Mimic into account, I'd probably put him at a 3, because he's not that good. Okay. Moving on, we have Stray. We actually random Stray the Esper as a character, which is pretty dang cool. So, the thing about Stray, he can equip swords, which is probably the least interesting thing about him. What's really interesting is the fact that he's just Sabin. Fight Blitz magic item. Blitz is ridiculous. It's a vanilla skill that is just very, very good. Especially early game. The blitzes that we have for him are, of course, the ones you would have by now. You know, Pummel, Arbolt, Suplex, and Fire Dance. Now, I have not done this Fire Dance yet, but that's ridiculous because it is a X. It looks like a hooligan combination, basically. Yeah, X, hooligan, R is Fire Dance. We'll see how difficult that is to perform. But yeah, as you can see, the Blitz inputs are randomized, and that makes it a little tougher to make them useful, but, you know, what can you do? It's Blitz. You're gonna try and use it. As far as stats go, his magic power is crap, but it's not really what he's doing. I do believe that some blitzes pull from magic power, but I believe most pull from physical damage. But that being said, Stray is pretty dang good. It's not often that we get a good character in Cian's spot, but this one was very, very good. So I'm going to go ahead and give Stray an 8. I think that's fair. He's better than Swole and Heath, just based on the fact that he got Blitz. I mean, it's Blitz. What the hell are you going to do? So yeah, he's an 8. Alright, moving on. Our only returning sprite so far, Caster from the Prophecy Unfold seed. I believe it was the Prophecy Unfold seed. Yeah. Um, he's got a different profile picture. I think this is supposed to be perhaps supposed to be a black waltz, but the sprite looks almost identical to the the black mage sprite I had before for caster. And so he's returned, and it turns out he works on the same farm that Swole does, because he is also an imp harvester. He is out looking for Swole to bring him back to help with the crop, and got caught up in this whole war business. So we'll see how that pans out. But really, imp harvester is not what makes him amazing. That second skill is W Ragnarok. So, if you play the vanilla game, you know what Ragnarok does. It attempts to morph an enemy into an item. Now, W Ragnarok tries to do that twice. So if it misses once, it tries again. Now, the only problem with that is it'll try different items, and you might succeed on a crappier item than you were looking for, but that's no different from the vanilla game when you throw Ragnarok out as an escort. This is for free, and it's twice. And the thing that's great about that is if we have Drogan on the team, he can mimic it, and we get 4 attempts at metamorphing an enemy into an item. So that is going to be a really interesting skill to mess around with the rest of the game and try and get stuff. And as far as his weapons and stuff and other uses, he's not very good. But that skill alone makes him so interesting and so cool that I think I'm going to give him a 5, because I don't think he's useless because of that, but I don't think he's great either. I think he's right in the middle. He's a solid character with W Ragnarok. That's where I'm putting him. He is a 5, and I'm glad to see him back. Welcome back, Caster. Alright, and our final character that we got, who was Poison. I forgot that. That's not a great start. Okay, either way. So, this is a random anime character that I have no idea who it is. However, when I saw the portrait, it looked like a Fire Emblem character, and it looked like a Lady Marth. So, which arguably Marth already looks like a Lady Marth. But, so I named her Martha, which is the classic burn that people get Marth players with. Trust me, I know. Oh, you play Martha. Anyway, she has fight steal magic item. She is basically Locke. And that's it. So we got Locke and Sabin. Little boring. She can equip swords. And yeah, depending on what, like, was it the Thief Glove that changes steel into capture? That is randomed. So steel could turn into something totally different and crazy broken. I don't know yet. But right now she's just Locke and not amazing. I mean, and this is the character we're going to have at the beginning of the World of Ruin. So there you have it. That's the most I can say about Martha. The stats are just middling, nothing crazy, no innate magic. Oh wait, I'm sorry. She does have innate magic. I remember because I made a thing about it being kind of thematic, that she's got stop and mute to disrupt her enemies, and then she's got safe and shell to protect us, which actually isn't that bad. That's a pretty good suite of white magic spells there. So regardless, or of utility spells, I'm sorry. Regardless, even with that, I still have to put Martha at like a 3, maybe even a 2, because really the only thing she's doing to do damage is fighting, which, if fight, that's a good rule of thumb for Beyond Chaos. If fight is the best option that a character can use, it's a bad character. So yeah, Martha is probably a 2. I'm going to put her at a 2. But yeah, as far as the seed goes, we're getting some pretty interesting skills. I'm kind of sad that we got like a Locke and a Sabin suite of commands, and then we got a vanilla Sabin sprite for our main character. That's a little bit goofy considering that there are hundreds of sprites to choose from, and somehow it pulled Sabin out. Then again, of course, this is a different Sabin. It's shirtless Sabin, but whatever. Really pissed off that Bannon got my Siegfried sprite that I would have loved to have, because I've never random Siegfried as a sprite. But, you know, again, Beyond Chaos gonna do what Beyond Chaos do. Other than that, yeah, I'm excited to keep this one going, see where it heads, and, yeah, that's another thing that I forgot to mention. I don't know what that desperation flag that I put on does still. I have seen 2 desperation attacks, which is pretty rare, that could just mean that the flag I put up, or the flag I turned on, makes it more frequent that you get desperation attacks at low HP. I don't know. If someone could tell me, that'd be great, but I have no clue. And if it was the case that it just made them more frequent, that there would be some interesting ways to cheese the game with that by keeping your characters at low HP and just physically attacking. And I hope that's not the case. But anyway, yeah, that is the end of the Narshe review, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.